happy to see you here, Coach. Happy the hip surgery went well for you. My question to you is, Alabama in the last couple of years, they've had strong quarterback play with Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts. You've had balance. You've had not just talent, but big game experience. My question is, where has Mac Jones grew the most to you? Where has he grown as a player? Where has he grown as a person to? If he was to be in a situation, you feel comfortable with Mac Jones in the offense?
Right. Well, Mac has made a lot of improvements. He's matured very nicely at the position. I think he's a very bright guy. He's got good knowledge of the position. Mac's a very emotional guy, so we like to try to get guys to play with emotion but not be emotional, because sometimes when you get too emotional, you don't make good decisions, and that's one of the things that we worked really hard, and he's made a lot of progress in that area. His consistency in performance has been very, very good. He did get to play some last year, so this is not going to be totally foreign to him if he has to go in a game and play. And hopefully we'll have good enough players around him that it will help him have a chance to succeed. But we've been pleased with his progress. We're confident that he's capable. It's our job to be able to get him to a point where he has enough consistency to be able to go in there and play if we need him to.
Coach will stay in this front section in the third row right in front of us.
Hey, Coach. Jeffrey Winborn with the Daily Mountain Eagle. After the loss to Clemson last season in the national championship, is that something that you or the other leaders in the locker room are using as motivation or an example to get back to the standard you were speaking of?
Well, I think that if you're a great competitor and you are in a game like we were for the national championship and you didn't perform very well, and given all the credit to the other team who beat us and took advantage of the opportunities that they have, not to take anything away from them. But if you're a competitor, you're going to respond in a positive way and learn from the things that you didn't do, whether those things were in preparation, game day decisions, the habits that you created leading up to the game, the second half of the season. All those things contribute to, are we going to be able to have success against one of the best teams or the best team in the country? And we obviously didn't do that. That's my responsibility. But I think that our players learned a lot from that experience. I think that we didn't play with the discipline at the end of the season that we'd like to have as a team. I don't think that our preparation so that we could go in a game and be very responsible and accountable to do our job at a high level on a consistent basis was what it needed to be. And whether or not people were worried about personal outcomes more than they were team outcomes, it's always hard to judge that, but it seems like we had a lot of distractions at the end of the year. So hopefully we learn from those scenarios, and that will help us do the things that we need to do to be able to, play to our full potential throughout the season.
Coach, we'll go over to our left-hand side on the second row. Bob?
Hey, Nick. Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. I think you're 16-0 against your former assistants, like 7 or 8 guys. How do you feel about that stat? Do you think any of these guys are ever going to beat you? And how much longer? I think you're facing 3 of them this season.
Well, I think that that's not a very fair stat. All the former assistants that we have that get jobs, they don't take a program over that has the established, talent, culture, and all that we have at Alabama. So when they get the opportunity to establish those things in their program, they're going to be able to beat Alabama and compete with Alabama. So that's something that most of the time when you get a job, it's because the guy that was before you didn't do a very good job. So you have lots of work to do to bring that team to that level. And obviously, I think a lot of those guys are going to be able to do that extremely well. Some have done it already. So I think it's a matter of time until those challenges get greater and greater for us.
All right, we'll go in the middle section about 3/4 of the way back.
Coach,